In 2018, I walked the Camino Frances with my friend Frank. He's the one up ahead there. On that trip, an Italian pilgrim named Roberto became part of our Camino family. Fast forward 5 years, and we all agreed to meet in Portugal to walk the Camino Portuguese coastal route. I arranged to meet Roberto in Porto, with Frank joining us 2 days later. This is a document of our adventure. The Camino begins.
Let's go.
It's Roberto and his very, very, very big backpack.
I can do it.
I'd also be walking the Camino with 2 more Italian pilgrims, Gianluca and Luca, Roberto's friends from back home.
Questo è davvero una
It's about time these hungry pilgrims stopped for some breakfast. The food selection in this cafe blows my tiny mind. Yum. Sorry, Spain, but the Portuguese breakfast wins this round. Walking the littoral route, we share the paths, boardwalks and cafes with the summer tourists. My hat fights the losing battle with the strong sea breeze. Here is the Albergue. Found it. I love reading the guest books in albergues. They give you an amazing insight into all of the different nationalities that have stayed here before you. We have Italians, Germans, Swedish, Spanish, Hungarian, Polish, and myself, United Kingdom. it'll soon be time for the evening meal. And who better to cook pasta for the hungry pilgrims than the 3 Italians I walked with? And they would not let anyone else near the kitchen while they were creating. As first days go on Camino, this one was pretty special. And Edgar, the Albergue Hospitalero, had one last place to show us.
We do Porto. Cheers! Bon Camino!
Do you remember Roberto's big bag from yesterday? Well, it turns out it didn't do his knee any favours.
Here we go, pole practice.
So today I'm showing him how to use my walking poles to help him take some weight off his hips and, more importantly, his knees.
Yeah?
Okay. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Okay. Live moments. Yes.
It's time for goodbyes and for everyone to move on to their next destinations.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a beautiful morning, just left the albergue. Lots of people are up, a lot of energy, a lot of vibrancy. Yeah, it's a great little albergue. Hospitalero's a bit of a character, always joking. But it was lovely of him last night to take us to the sunset and then his kind of favourite local bar. And today, yeah, we're going to see how far we can get. Roberto, the Italian pilgrim, my friend, is injured because of that monster of a bag. So that may dictate how far we can go today. So let's see.
I wish we could have walked on this beautiful beach all day long, but we had to push on.
Mountains of seaweed and the smell that comes with it. This route is just, oh, I love it so much. It is so peaceful walking by the ocean on these broad walks. And also the sea breeze keeps it nice and cool.
I decide to sit down for 5 minutes, take a break, have some water, and watch the waves roll in. I could probably sit here all day and not walk, but I need to meet up with Frank. I managed to catch up with my friend Frank, who is walking up ahead. Now we're heading to our final destination, a town called Apulia.
So there's the
3 beds one, and he's got 2 double bedrooms.
Tonight's albergue is nothing to write home about, but it's clean, it's quiet, and it gives us somewhere to rest our heads for the night. It's the beginning of day 3, and Frank and I are off to try and find some breakfast. For those of you wondering where Roberto got to, he had to take a taxi yesterday due to his knee, so we're hoping to meet him later for second breakfast. A successful trip to the bakery.
Possibly the biggest arrow I have ever seen in all of my time on Camino. It's a monster.
We catch up with Roberto over our second breakfast, and then Frank and I decide to push on. So many places and distances to choose from, but our final destination is Santiago.
Buen Camino, Bon Camino.
Up ahead is Roberto and the Italian crew, who must have slipped ahead of us when we popped into a shop to get some water.
The arrow there.
We see lots of young pilgrims all walking the opposite way, all headed to Fatima, to the World Youth Day Vigil that will be attended by Pope Francis. All along this route, you see beautiful Portuguese churches and hand-painted Camino signs. It's always a bit of a shock when you see so many trees chopped down along the route, but eucalyptus trees are often farmed and used for pulp and oils.
Feeling it a bit now. Haven't taken many breaks. I think another one is in order pretty soon, just so I can maybe have a little bite to eat, get my energy levels back up. Time for some food. Gonna pick this one. So it may not look like it in the video, but that up there is quite steep. Not moaning, just pointing out a fact. Well, I probably will be moaning in a minute. Told you.
our home for the night in the Municipal Albergue in Viana do Castelo. And not a bunk bed in sight, pure bliss. We spend the evening laughing and joking over food and drinks with more Italian pilgrims and Ron from Germany.
Earliest start as we walked to Camino, or Caminha as they say. And yeah, thankfully it's quite a cool morning, so should make for a cool walk, not too hot, so wish us luck. It's starting to rain a bit as we're walking at the moment. It's lovely and cool, but I think around about 11, 12 this morning it's predicted to get a bit heavier, so going to see if we can push on and make a good way today.
While we're in the cafe eating beautiful pastel donatas, outside the heavens open, which prompts Frank to make a rather interesting purchase.
He's only bought himself an umbrella rather than use the poncho.
Now Frank has a large umbrella. He looks like the quintessential Englishman abroad, and I half expect him to fly off into the sky at any moment, like Mary Poppins.
Rain, rain, rain. Lots and lots of it today. Keeps you cool while you're walking, also quite wet. I've got my lovely free colour run poncho. It's working a treat actually. No need for a big heavy duty one, especially with it being the summer in Portugal. It's still quite warm, so yeah. Let's keep on keeping on, as they say, or bon camino. What a sight to have off in the distance, that peak covered in cloud. It's quite inspiring to walk towards.
That's good.
Walking through all the rain earlier, I found myself daydreaming about my own room, hot shower, nice duvet, soft, plump pillows, anything to kind of will me on and push me on. Last night's albergue pillow was a bit like a sandbag. I woke up with a bit of a crick neck. But I think now the weather's better, people I know are going to the Municipal, it will save some money. I think I will wait to do a private room until I really need it.
Before I kick off my walking shoes and enjoy an ice-cold cerveza in this beautiful town square, I want to first find the Municipal Albergue and secure a bed.
We start in Porto.
Yes.
Porto.
While Frank finds the Wi-Fi code, I contemplate what will be a very cosy night in the albergue. Night night. We say goodbye to Roberto and the other Italians who are staying on the coast, and we agree to meet again in Santiago.
We've decided to take the bridge and walk over into Spain and head towards Valenca and Tui. Yeah, we'll be back on the Espiritual Variant. For the time being, we're off to see the fortress town of Valenca.
After yesterday's downpour, walking in this bright, sunny, warm morning is truly restorative. We catch up with old Camino friends, Camille and Tom.
I recognise these two. Good morning.
Good morning.
High five.
We spend the night over there.
Oh, cool.
Just what nice view. Because there is so.
Morning.
See you again.
It's great to catch up with old Camino friends, Tomasz and Camila from Poland. We're going to go grab some food now just because I don't think there's much from Caminha to, till we meet up with the central route on the way to Valenca. So yeah, let's get a bit of breakfast, then we're going to head off. The breakfast game. Strange, we're going upstairs.
Someone's house.
Yeah.
We're stopped by a local who tells us of an alternative route to Valenca down by the river, so we decide to check it out.
That's probably what that guy's referring to. So we could go down there and then
Well, let's try. We're going to go off-piste.
going off piste.
So this is hopefully the pathway towards Valenca. See, point us in the right direction.
We take a break and start to think about accommodation. Both Tui and Valenca can get very busy, and the day is getting on.
That room's maybe better. So how far have we got to go, do you reckon, to Tui?
Don't know. An hour, maybe an hour or two.
Not a way to go. Do we risk it for a biscuit and go to the Municipal, or play it safe and book somewhere on booking.com?
We decide to play it safe and we book some nice accommodation in Tui. We've just got to get there first.
It's a long day walking by the river to Valenca. I would recommend making sure you've got enough water and also some snacks. There's one or two places where you can stop for at a cafe or a bar. They're a bit off the riverway, but yeah, my recommendation would be to bring some supplies with you. Oh, it's a long old day. Tired. Food. food, please be open.
Thankfully, he is. Now it's time to order the whole menu because I've not eaten properly since breakfast. Ah, much needed sustenance. This will give us the energy to walk these last few kilometres to Valenca and then on to our final destination, Tui.
So now it's the final push, or 2 pushes. Get to Valenca, have a cerveza, have some shots of the beautiful fort, and push on to Tui.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go. Heading over the border to Spain. We're now officially in España.
I think we made the right choice. These beds look so comfy. But first things first, time to relax on the hostel balcony with an ice-cold cerveza, because today has been a long day.
We're in Tui this morning. It's quite late actually. I think it's about 9:30, 10. Really quite tired today. Hotel was really nice, comfy beds, air conditioning, and slept in. And I think just the past few days of early rises and long walks have caught up with me, so my body's relaxed a bit. Taken a while to get going today. Buffet breakfast, always good, but I think we're walking 23 kilometers today. I can't remember the name of the place, I'll put it down here. So it's a bit of an easier day. I'm expecting a lot more pilgrims on the central route, especially from Tui, because this is a bit like Sarria on the Française. Some advice if you are staying in Tui. We didn't book until yesterday and virtually everything had gone. So if you're staying near and you can get in early, the Municipal opens around about 1 o'clock. So if you can do that, great. If not, I would highly recommend booking in advance for Tui, because like I say, everything was booked up. Or if you don't have time or you don't think you're going to make it, you can stay in Valencia, which is only 2 or 3 kilometers away. So yeah, just those little tips there for you. We're going to be seeing a lot more pilgrims now as we walk from Tui to Santiago. It's about 110 kilometers, which is probably the last major town where you can get your Compostela from. So potential Sarria vibes. here you have the choice to take one of two ways. The blue one is slightly longer, but apparently it's called the Riverway and a lot nicer to walk, whereas the red way here goes through industrial areas. So we are going to take the alternative Riverway. Let's see what this tastes like. Wow, that's sweet. We are passing a lot of pilgrims who have day packs, which generally means they are sending their stuff on. And to do that, I think as a rule you can't stay in municipals. You can't send your bags onto a municipal because they're not open to receive baggage. So that may be an indicator of why anything on booking.com is all booked up, because they need places to stay, send their luggage onto. So yeah, well, I suppose what do you expect walking in August? Bar the noise of the motorway to my left, this riverway is beautiful, and more importantly, it's nice and shaded as well. Yeah, I'd recommend coming this way into... Now we need to find a cafe, a nice lunch break.
Time for a drink and a light bite, and then we're off.
Heading for Mos. Temperature's really picking up, but yeah, hopefully there's some beds. We shall see.
One of the beauties of walking the Camino is the conversations you have with strangers, who, if you meet again, it's like catching up with a long-lost friend.
Hey, I recognise this guy. How are you doing?
Carry on and just...
What's up? Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you guys.
How's your walk?
We say our goodbyes to Hendrik, who's pushing on to the next town. But Camino friendships are strong, and I have a feeling our paths will cross again. As Albergue bedroom views go, this one is pretty special.
Early start today, wanting to get out under the cover of darkness as the temperature is starting to really pick up in the afternoons, and want to get to Pontevedra in good time, so hence the leaving under the cover of darkness. And by all accounts, looking at the elevation profile today, is quite a lot of up and down, so it's going to be a tough day, I think.
We push on through the morning darkness as the sun slowly begins to rise in the sky. The horizon emits a beautiful, warm orange glow, calls us, drives us to walk forward.
Not seen any other pilgrims out on the road yet. I think I know why, because it's too early. I'm knackered. But it is a beautifully quiet time to walk, and more importantly, it's super cool temperature-wise. So we can get some kilometers under our feet before the sun rises in the sky and starts to melt us. So
Time for a spot of breakfast. Well, lunch type breakfast. One of my favourite times to walk on Camino is early in the morning, as you pass through villages and towns, slowly waking up from their slumber. As morning draws on, we start to see more and more pilgrims on the way, and one pilgrim in particular looks kind of familiar. Hendrik and I decide to stop for some lunch, while Frank pushes on.
I'm sat with Henrik here and he's got an interesting way of eating sandwiches. You want to take me through your thought process?
Of course. I call it classic. So basically, yeah, you could cut it here in between, but in the end you always bite in. So just like put it on, bite in, and that's it. It's a very good, cheap meal on a Camino. All right, enjoy.
Maybe.
Us.
Go in my channel very quickly.
It's time we pushed on. Pontevedra is calling.
Hopefully we are not far now from Pontevedra. Henrik's hips are giving up. My ankles are, well, we needed some new ankles, so hopefully the end is in sight. Made it to Pontevedra at last.
It's time to head to the hostel and secure our beds for the night. Tomorrow is our first day on the Espiritual Variant, so it's time to rest and get a good night's sleep. Ah, maybe not.
Starting a bit later today, we are heading to our first day on the Espiritual route, so yeah, let's see what it has to offer. Camino, Variant Espiritual. I'm loving this route so far. It's peaceful, in and out of small little Spanish villages, through forests. It's a beautiful breeze. Yeah, what's not to like? Wow, what a view to be greeted with. Such a beautiful view. Ah, this is truly special. Wow. Not bad. First albergue is over this hill, so keep on keeping on.
After a lung-busting climb, you get to look back and see how far and how high you've come.
I have to say there are no standard Camino way markers here. You just have the small wooden Espiritual Variant marker and some yellow arrows. And over this section, they're not that plentiful. Hopefully this is the town.
Outside the albergue, a large queue has formed, and any pilgrims you haven't booked are unfortunately turned away. Thankfully, I texted yesterday and secured 3 beds, one for Frank, Hendrik, and myself. We're packed in quite tight in this albergue, which is going to make for quite a hot, uncomfortable night.
On the road for 6:30, beautifully quiet, a bit chilly, but there was no way having a lie in that albergue. It was very hot and quite noisy, so we're off and we hope to get to Vilanova before lunchtime.
It gets much darker, much quicker as we push deeper and deeper into the forest, using our phone flashlights to illuminate ahead.
The sun is coming up. It comes up quickly in Spain.
Yeah, exactly.
The sign shows points of interest, all of which were hidden when we passed through the forest in the darkness. We stop at this quirky little makeshift cafe for some breakfast. My mini pastry looks a bit sad and stale, but it'll do for now.
Cheers. Guys, what do? We've got the sea, we've made it here. Shall we go in?
Go into the sea.
The sea is cold, but very, very refreshing. And just what we need after walking in the hot Spanish sun. It's time to find our albergue. And tomorrow? Well, tomorrow is our boat journey to Padron, which I have so been looking forward to. We booked the first boat out at 7 a.m. That way we can experience the sunrise over the ocean. From the outside, it might not look like much, but from the inside, it's just right. Night night.
Heading to the port for the 7 a.m. boat today. And yeah, I would say next stop Padron, but I think it may take a while.
Este y oeste, north, south, east, west. Nosotros vamos a navegar dirección nordeste, vamos a ir en esta dirección. We are going northeast. Vamos a salir de la ría de Arousa y navegar por el río Ulla. The Finnish Arousa Bay, Navigation Ulla River. En el río Ulla veremos 12 cruces de piedra que forman el único vía crucis marítimo único en el mundo en honor al apóstol Santiago. Dentro de la iglesia se encuentra esa gran piedra donde se amarró la barca del apóstol. Esa gran piedra donde se amarró la barca del apóstol es un pedrón de piedra grande, pedrón. De pedrón pasó a ser Padron. The left is Padron, in the middle de Vila, in the church, the big stone rock, the mooring boat de Santiago.
It's still early, we've got bags of energy in our legs, so today's destination is Santiago.
Have about 20 kilometers to go before we get to Santiago. last day of walking. Boat ride was really special. I cannot recommend it highly enough. And now I've got well, it's not a cloud in the sky, so it's going to be a warm one today. Well done, buddy. Give me some love. Yes!
There is something so special about walking into the square in Santiago, having completed the Camino with others. Now, well, it's time to celebrate. Tomorrow, Roberto and the others come into Santiago, so double celebrations, I guess. The three amigos, Frank, Roberto and myself, have made it. Now, well,
Molto bene!